Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show, we have fellow Texan real estate entrepreneur and investor, Trevor Probandt. Trevor, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I like to start off at the top by asking folks how they got into the real estate space initially.
Yeah. I was born and raised on a cattle ranch outside of San Angelo, Texas. And so my family's been ranching since 1929. And so we grew up in the middle of nowhere out there. But in the early 1990s, my dad, my uncle, and my granddad started buying and doing simple subdivides of rural recreational land, right? So taking great big giant ranches and cut them into pastures, and basically how the fences were already set up, and then selling those for more value just because of the forced appreciation that comes from there. So we've done, not just me, but my family and stuff has done 55 to 60,000 acres in the last few decades of that, right? Kind of as a side piece. But in 2016, I kind of got it into buying and then selling on owner finance terms, smaller pieces of smaller tracts. And then in 2020, me and a couple other guys went pretty big into buying and subdividing places. Our very first big deal we did was in Sutton County, and that was 2,424 acres that we cut into 12 different tracts. Yes, 12 different tracks. And of course, this is right in middle of 2021 when interest rates were nothing. And we sold that whole thing out in like 9 months from when we bought it till we sold it out, and made $1.79 million on it. So, and then it's just been kind of to the races on that.
So you were born into the real estate game, but you took it to a whole other level.
Yeah, it just, my dad and uncle and granddad had only worked, only done as many deals that was kind of in their pocket. My dad is a real estate appraiser and broker. My uncle had another job. And so they'd always done it, they made way more money doing that than their day jobs, but they never looked for other investors. They just did whatever they had in their pocket. You know what I mean? And if it took longer to turn a deal, then it took longer to turn a deal. But I remember, and I'm older, I'm 42, but like, my dad in the early 2000s, but coming up before the big bust, they were doing these deals, and man, in 2005, 2006, 2007, like right before everything busted, and they got lucky, they timed it right. But I remember my dad, they bought a place, had it under contract, they showed a bunch of people, and they had it bought out. That's how crazy the things were in like 90 days, and made $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, right? Basically paid for me and my brother and sister's college, right? On one deal in 90 days. And so obviously, after that it dove off, in the Great Recession and things like that. But that's what you can do when things are good. Yeah.
Trevor, you mentioned subdivisions, and I
Yep.
know very little about this area of the real estate space. Without giving away all the game here, walk us through a deal in this space.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
There's three types of this, okay? And so you have a subdivision, like a platted high density subdivision, like what, houses on houses kind of deal, right? That's going to be usually within city limits. It's going to have, sewer, water, city sewer, water, things like that. Then what you have is what we call boutique subdivision or acreage product. So in the state of Texas, as long as you have 1 acre and above, sometimes it's 1.5 acres and above, depending on where you're at, you can drill a water well and you can put your own septic system in without having to run sewer or water. Okay. That right there is a product that is slept on in a lot of ways. You still have to plat. You still have to build roads that are going to be taken over by the county, right? They're going to be more expensive. They're going to be asphalt roads, 26 feet wide, meet specifications to be able to taken over for maintenance by the county. However, you don't have to build the curb and gutter. You don't have to do all the sidewalks, things like that, right? And so that is a great opportunity to come in and buy 30, 40 acres, right? Especially in your neck of the woods, right? You got something up and down the corridor there. You get something towards Sanger that's 30 acres, right? But it's, maybe it's 6 miles or 6 minutes from the interstate. Now it's got a good shape on it. You can build a road to it. You can cul-de-sac it. You're going to build 25 1-acre lots, right? You bought that for $30,000 an acre. You're going to spend another $20,000 an acre, 20 to 24,000 bucks an acre to develop it, and you're going to sell those individual lots for 150 to 200,000 bucks, right? The bad thing with that is sometimes depending on where you're at, what market, what your price point is, things like this, it may take you 1, 2, 3 years to sell all that out, right? That's why you don't try to build 300 of those 1-acre lots, right? It just doesn't make sense. So you're very surgical with that. And then what we have is what's rural subdivision, which means all tracts are 10 acres and above in the state of Texas. A lot of times what we do, especially out where I'm at, they can be 100-acre lots, right? That they are used for hunting and recreational usage. But that's where you don't have to come through. You don't have to go through all the platting process. It's real quick, meets and bounds surveys. Sometimes you have to plat it just depending on the county. But that's the real easy way of buying 100 acres. It's all got frontage on it. You cut them into 10-acre tracts with a new survey, and now you double the value of it. So those are the three kind of ways that we do stuff.
Do you have a preferred? You mentioned a couple different strategies there. Do you have one that you've been leaning towards lately, or is it just different based on every circumstance?
Man, right now I'm really trying to lean towards the acreage lot production stuff, the what we call boutique subdivisions that are very close to large MSAs, Houston, Dallas, all that stuff that people want to be near. You've got very good buyers, and people can afford $400,000 or $500,000, $600,000 estate kind of homes on it. That's the kind of stuff that I'm really, really working on right now.
I've noticed this trend, which is going to, I think, change the real estate game, of builders who build subdivisions ending up owning the homes instead of selling them. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's just build to rent, right? That's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole nother ball game. Yeah, man, I think that kind of sucks, to be honest with you, right? Like, I mean, that's big. that's big money coming in, right? Like that's if you look at anyone, right, especially the baby boomers and things like this, being able to own assets, and a lot of times, what assets can you get into that will appreciate at the level that real estate will, especially in the state of Texas, for 3 to 5% down, right? It's basically impossible, right? So you couldn't have gone in even in 2005 and bought a whole bunch of, stock at, even Apple stock for 10 grand when you could have bought a house in Roy City, right? That was 130,000 bucks. That's now a $400,000 deal. You can't do it, right? Plus the tax benefits, things like that. I think it sucks. The returns are good, but I think it sucks, right? Overall.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
It's one of those deals where when I got into the real estate space, I'm not cut from the real estate cloth. I was actually working for Nissan in San Antonio. It's one of the bigger dealerships in South Texas for Nissan. And I saw that I had the things that I wanted in life, or so I thought. I had a nice apartment, I had a nice car, I still have Dodge Challenger, had the Hemi, so I was like, my life's good. But I was seeing real estate prices go I was seeing real estate prices go up and up and up, and me thinking, how can I partake in this game? Like, even having a rental property seemed so outlandish. And again, Trevor, I wasn't cut from the cloth. So when I was going to my buddies who had no interest in like owning lots of real estate, or they kind of thought that was a pipe dream, and I was like, yeah, there's this thing, it's called like cash for keys. There's also this wholesale thing, and I heard about this guy who is basically like flipping the paper, and I wasn't even doing a good job of explaining it to my buddies, and so it just sounded so crazy to them. But now I look at it, and when I hear builders talking about owning the homes instead of selling them at the end of the build, I'm thinking like that's just another reason why people have to get into the real estate space kind of now. It's like the old adage, like, when was the best time to plant the tree? Well, it was 5 years ago. When's the next best time? It's today. So owning real
100%.
estate is, I think, not going to get any easier. It's practically a blood sample that they make you to do for a loan right now. I don't think that's going to get a whole lot easier, and it's only going to get more competitive in Texas. Like, every area. You're out there in San Angelo. You mentioned the four majors. Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin. But right now we have the 35 corridor that goes from Dallas to Oklahoma, and there's just cities that are expanding up along that. So sooner, I know this sounds crazy, but it's not too much of a far down the road where we talk about the Texas market kind of just becomes one big deal with Oklahoma up there.
Well, I've talked to a couple folks that are very smart talking about that 75 corridor, right? Obviously, Collin County, as hot it can get. But, when they're talking about McKinney and Frisco being kind of the center of North Texas, right? Of the Dallas hub,
Yeah,
you're like, holy smokes. Yeah, it's insane.
it's
It really
crazy.
is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
I live an hour, honestly, more than that. I live an hour away if there's like no traffic from downtown Dallas. And I don't even think about driving in there because I still consider myself in DFW, and I think people in Denton do. But just Texas in general, there's so much opportunity here. Pivoting a bit here, Trevor,
Yep.
as someone who is not a native Texan myself, I've seen elsewhere, right? So I lived in New Jersey, that's where I was born, lived for 6 years in Boston. The opportunity for the average person to be a real estate entrepreneur is just almost double, maybe even triple here in Texas. It's to the point where there's people in where I'm from, in New Jersey, in the New Yorks, right, in the Bostons, who are like, I'm gonna make my money up here, but I'm gonna invest it. I'm gonna have properties, do this remotely in the Floridas of the world, in the Texases of the world. And so on that note, I tend to think that we're in the best place, or one of the best places in the country for real estate investing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, it's just the pro business, the space, right? Pure space. Anything
Yeah.
with that 35 corridor to the east is great, right? Like, I mean, you've got water, you've got space, like the opportunities, as long as they keep bringing jobs and they keep bringing folks from all over Kingdom Come, it's going to be a good thing.
Trevor, pivoting a bit here, for folks who are getting into the real estate space, there's so many different paths. Like how many different paths have we heard about? I talked about, cash for keys, wholesale. You could become a realtor. You could try to do Airbnb arbitrage. I'm seeing so many different strategies coming up. Let's say someone's a police officer, teacher, or maybe they have a different sales job, right? I was working for Nissan and they want to get into the real estate space. You've now done so many deals in Texas and build subdivisions, right? So from the 1,000 view angle looking down, what would be your advice to folks who are trying to get into the real estate space?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Man, education is key, right? Learning one thing, getting good at what fits for you, right? Me, I love land. I'm from the middle of nowhere. I knew that I couldn't compete against the guys in Dallas because, to be honest with you, like there's just not enough inventory where I was at, right? Where you've got more competition, but you also have way more inventory up there. That's where I had to almost get into the land niche because that's where I was at and that's where I knew, right? And so understand where you're at. More importantly, understand what is your strength, right? Do you have more time? Do you have more money? Do you have a great network? Do you have, you know what I mean? Like maybe you went to SMU,
Yeah.
right? And you got a great network of guys, right? Maybe you're a C-suite person with, whatever oil company in Houston, right? And you've got all this cash and more
Yep.
importantly, got a bunch of IRA money, right? Maybe that's where you can be the
Yep.
funding side for someone who's actively going out there, but be put in a first lien position on a great deal, right? That protects you. Go from there. Maybe you're 21 years old, you don't have a clue, you got a burning desire to get after it, you don't have any money, but you're going to have to stay up all weekend and nights and all that other stuff, right? Like I did a bunch of houses back in the day, right? I remember putting up bandit signs. Like I didn't even have the money to have the printed bandit signs, right? Like I remember my wife drawing "We buy houses cash" on a yellow bandit sign, right? Well, under the giant marker, right? Like so, yeah, for sure.
I've been there myself too. It's a very interesting thing, planting one of those signs in the ground. Trevor, when we talk about the different avatars of person in real estate, you mentioned IRA, you mentioned planting bandit signs, networking, right? For me, I spent so much, I'm an analytical type. I've stopped as much, I think, shifting my personality even a little bit since I got into the real estate space. I've seen it's better to network fanatically. But networking cannot be understated. It cannot possibly be understated. The connections that I've made through reaching out to people has made me realize that I should probably even have a systematic approach to networking. Like that's how I got on as a podcast host here, and that's how I continue to meet guests. And so I'm curious, do you have, kind of some guidelines or an approach to staying active networking in real estate? Or what do you do to network in real estate?
Man, that's where you have your podcast, right? Like I have my own podcast. You have people on, you start talking to things like that. But to be honest with you, like to go to the RIA meetings and to find people that have the opposite of you, right? Find the older gentleman or the older
Yep.
gal there if you're a young buck, right? If you're an older gentleman or an older gal, find the young buck that's chasing deals down, right? Don't just because you're young, like let's just say you're brand new into this or whatever it is, and you and your best buddy want to get into real estate. I've seen that happen so many times. Hey, let's start an LLC. We'll both be 50-50, but you're only like neither one of you have any money. You're the blind
Yep.
leading the blind, right? And so like don't do that shit. Don't do that. Like figure out there's so much on YouTube, right? Whether you're wholesaling, whatever that is, but like understand everything that you do is sales. Understand that everything that you're going to do, like, and not to be negative about it, but like no one cares about what you want. They care about what they want, right? And if you can't provide that value to
Yeah.
them, they're not gonna really like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not
Yeah.
a beneficial kind of thing. And don't take it to heart. Like don't get downtrodden about it, but like understand like, hey, this guy is going this way, and if I can't provide any value to him, then I'm just kind of wasting my time, and more importantly, I'm wasting his or her time, right? And so, but the
Yeah.
networking, you just got to let people know what you're doing, and but more importantly, get a deal on the hook, right? Whether that's a land deal, whether that's a house deal, whether that's an apartment deal, one way or other. But to be honest with you, don't try to go so big so fast. Find the base hit, right? Don't try to go wholesale an apartment building, right? Like you have no idea what
Yeah,
you're
I
doing.
agree.
Don't try to do that stuff, right? If it's a duplex or a quad or whatever, that's one thing. But don't try to yeah, don't waste your time chasing these giant deals here and there, right? Like, come on, do a little flip, do a whether that's a creative deal with the owner financing, whatever that is. If you're a Pace Morby fan or whatever whomever your guy or gal is, right? Go all in, spend a year saying I am going to learn this, but more importantly, find someone or find a way to keep yourself accountable, right? Because the bad thing is you're going to get in this loop where all you want to do is read and learn and learn the jargon. I remember it was the same damn way, right? You want to learn all the jargon, you want to be known like you know all this stuff. And it's funny because like especially in social media and Facebook and everything else, everyone's like, "Oh, well that's not the 2% rule or this is
Yeah.
bad this or whatever." And they've never done a deal. But they go to bigger pockets. They go to
Feed
Facebook,
everybody.
and you know what I mean. Like, go get out
Yeah.
there, run into people, meaning have belly to belly conversations with property owners, right? Whatever that is, you figure it out. Find a way to do something, right? Even if it means getting a damn real estate license, if you're willing to talk to people and things like that, and that way you can get referral fees, right? There's a million different ways of getting paid on this stuff. Or more importantly, find someone that's a stud in what you're doing and find a way to provide value to them. When they tell you what to do, go do it and then come back with it and then say, what's next? You have no idea how many people I talk to, and I'll tell them exactly what to go do. I never hear from them ever again.
Never hear from them. I think that's the thing is people, I've seen this a lot in real estate. They're afraid to kind of give away the game. But then at the same point in time, if they gave away all the game, the people that they gave it away to, many times are not going to execute on it, right? So execution, it takes a lot of effort. It takes your energy, it takes your focus, it takes your time away from other things. So for someone to want to be in real estate, for someone to then execute on it, and for them to have any longevity is a really impressive thing. And I just think, I want as many people, that's what I'm passionate about. I want as many people to be able to partake in this as possible. And if you're like living in Texas, like realize, we have an awesome opportunity that we have to take advantage of. We have the dawn of information and we have the best real estate market in the country, arguably, for single family homes. It's just an
Yep.
awesome thing to be out here in this time. Trevor, we are coming up on time over here. Where can folks go to get a hold of you?
Yeah, man. New websites coming out. Go West Lands, big brokerage that we're working on. My whole goal for the last 5 or 6 years is to be as vertically integrated in the land space as possible, and so that's kind of where we're at, right? We do listings, we do investments, we buy, we sell, we trade, we add value, we entitle, we do a little bit of everything. And now all these moving parts are kind of like coming together literally this week. And so that's kind of where we're at on that. Like, I've also got a podcast. It's called Land Investing: The Dirt Road to Wealth. And then if you're real serious about it, you can shoot me a text at area code 940-736-8797.
Trevor, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.